Welcome to today's explainer. So, if you're looking to level up your English grammar and step confidently onto that solid B1 territory, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're moving way beyond basic future tenses. We're going to look at something much more dynamic, the future continuous tense. By the end of our time together, you won't just understand how to build it, you'll know exactly how to use it naturally to bring your everyday conversations to life. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with forming the future continuous, then look at specific times in the future, parallel and inevitable actions, spotting common time markers, and finally, important rules and exceptions.
All right, Section 1, Forming the Future Continuous.
I actually want you to treat this grammar kind of like visual math. The affirmative structure is always your subject plus will be plus your verb with an ing at the end. Subject, will be, verb ing. It's an unchangeable recipe. Whether your subject is I, you, he, she, it, we, or they, you literally just plug in will be and your ing verb. Simple, right? Now for negatives, will just becomes won't be. And for questions, you just swap it around. Will plus the subject plus be and your ing verb. It really is that clean and mathematical. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. The structure, subject plus will be plus verb ing, is validated right at the top. But look just below that structural formula. You get a fantastic sneak peek at its real-world uses. It mentions actions at a moment in time, parallel actions, and pre-arranged events. We're going to break all of those down right now.
Moving on to Section 2, Specific Times in the Future.
So imagine that tomorrow, you plan to rest from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. If I ask you what you're doing at exactly 11 a.m., well, you're right in the middle of that action. The action has started, but it hasn't finished yet. This visual timeline clearly proves the continuous nature of this tense over a specific duration. You wouldn't use a simple future tense here, right? You use the future continuous because at 11 a.m., you will be resting.
This brings us to one of my absolute favorite examples from our sources. This time next week, I'll be flying to Berlin. Think about how highly visual that action is. By pinpointing an exact moment in the future, this time next week, the action of flying really pops. You can literally picture yourself sitting on the airplane, looking out the window. That's the magic of the future continuous. It drops you right into the middle of the action.
Next up, Section 3, Parallel and Inevitable Actions.
Let's lean into this incredibly relatable, vivid scenario from our source materials. Next Monday, you'll be working and we'll be lying on the beach. Here we have two simultaneous parallel actions happening at the exact same time in the future. While one person is busy at their desk working, another group is simultaneously relaxing on the sand. The future continuous lets us beautifully contrast these two ongoing events happening side by side.
So the really crucial point is understanding why we choose this tense over others. Let's directly contrast two sentences to show the specific flavor the future continuous brings. On the left side, we've got the future simple. If you come at 8 a.m., we'll have coffee together. There's an obvious dependence here, right? The coffee date only happens if you come. But look at the right side, the future continuous. If you call me at this time, I'll be having coffee. This shows an action that will happen anyway, without any obvious dependence or even personal intention directed at the other person. Whether you call or not, my morning coffee routine is inevitable.
Which brings us to Section 4, Spotting Common Time Markers.
Whenever you want to specify exactly when an action will be in progress, these are your go-to cheat codes. Phrases like at 5 o'clock, this time tomorrow, or meanwhile pinpoint the exact intersection of time and action. But we also have markers for durations, like from Monday till Friday, all day long, or the whole evening. Notice how a phrase like all day long perfectly sets up a continuous future action. If you see or want to use one of these markers, your brain should immediately think, subject plus will be plus verbing.
Finally, Section 5, Important Rules and Exceptions.
Before we reveal the answer, I want to ask you directly, based on what you know about other continuous tenses in English, do you think we can use the future continuous with any verb? Think about verbs of feeling or possession. This is a super common learner pitfall, so let's clear it up right now.
Now, what's really interesting here is the absolute rule that non-progressive verbs, also known as stative verbs, generally aren't used in continuous tenses. This means verbs related to states of being, possession, or senses, like know, want, or belong, do not get the will-be verbing treatment. You wouldn't say, I will be knowing the answer. You just say, I will know.
However, you know English loves a clever exception. A non-progressive verb like see can actually be used in the continuous form if its meaning changes to an active action. Look at this sentence. I'll be seeing him at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Here, seeing doesn't mean the physical ability of sight. It translates to meeting. Because the meaning has shifted to a deliberate, planned action, it perfectly fits into our future continuous formula.
Let's look at one final, major rule derived from our sources. Read this quote. She will be sleeping while I am reading. Notice anything interesting about the second half of that sentence? A massive rule in English grammar is that we never use future tenses in time or if clauses. So, while the main clause is proudly sitting in the future continuous, she will be sleeping, the time clause following the word while must stay in the present continuous, while I am reading. The main clause actually carries the future meaning for the whole sentence. So, we've covered the structure, the specific times, the parallel actions, and the essential exceptions of the future continuous tense at the B1 level. Now, I want to leave you with this exact provocative question straight from our source material to challenge you to instantly apply the formula you just learned. Ask yourself right now, if you were sleeping at 10 p.m. tonight, what will the others be doing? Will they be watching TV? Will they be working? Formulate your answer using the structure we built today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep practicing those continuous actions.